Moça! 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 ¿Está bien? What the f...
Tonight, we look at 6 disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. Real moments, real danger. Don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying footage like this. Let's begin. Chamos is a Brazilian channel known for its paranormal investigations and deep explorations into abandoned or haunted places. But on one particular night, what they uncovered had nothing to do with ghosts, and everything to do with a terrifying real-world discovery.
Peraí, vamos ver se a gente escuta de novo.
Olha aí,
Oh, meu Deus do céu, velho, meu Deus. Meu Deus do céu.
ou a gente vai atrás dessa mulher, ou a gente não vai.
Não, vamos se embrear na moto e vamos então.
Tu vai, tem bateria pra continuar gravando aí?
Eu tô até com medo de gravar isso aí, Jefinho.
Como é que não...
E se for algum crime, a gente se envolve nisso aí, mano.
A gente
Vamos
já
tentar
tá envolvido, mano.
Não,
A gente já tá envolvido.
Vamos tentar ajudar, mas eu acho que assim, filmar, não
A
sei,
gente
mano.
já tá envolvido.
Tem que filmar.
A filmagem é uma segurança pra nós,
É
pô.
uma prova, pô.
A filmagem...
The team had ventured into a heavily wooded remote area far from any signs of civilization. With no cell service, dense brush, and barely navigable trails, the setting was already tense. They were documenting their exploration as usual when they suddenly heard something disturbing echoing from within the forest. Something that sounded like a human cry. With only vague direction to go on, they attempted to determine where the sound was coming from. But in a thick forest, noise bounces unpredictably, and pinpointing its source becomes a near impossible task. Despite the risk, they made the decision to split up to cover more ground. Eventually, the group came across a single, discarded shoe in the undergrowth, a chilling clue that confirmed they were close.
Meu Deus do céu, velho. Meu Deus do céu. Moça. Moça. Meu Deus.
Calma. Nossa, meu Deus do céu, cara.
Tá amarrada?
Calma. Cara, ajuda a desamarrar ela aqui,
Ô, Jota, ajuda a desamarrar ela, cara.
Ilumina aí, velho. Ilumina aí, cara.
Deixa eu botar a câmera no chão aqui, cara.
Jota, desamarra ela aí, velho. Ajuda. Cara, calma, moça. Aqui. Solta ali, aqui. Solta aqui, velho.
Caramba, velho. O que aconteceu, moça?
Tá fazendo aqui, moça? Peraí, deixa eu soltar aqui. Aqui, ó.
O que aconteceu, moça?
A gente vai
Tava indo pro trabalho.
Calma. Isso, velho. Caramba,
Eu pego o ônibus cedo. Um cara apareceu armado.
Olha só, velho.
Um cara apareceu armado, ele me rendeu, ele tava armado, ele me trouxe pra cá.
Ele fez alguma coisa contigo? Moça?
Só que hoje eu não ia ser útil, que ele ia voltar amanhã.
Caramba, velho, como assim?
Calma, moça, calma aqui, eu tô te soltando.
Moments later, they stumbled upon a woman. She was tied up, visibly injured, terrified, and nearly unconscious. Once untied, she shared the horrifying truth. She had been abducted early that morning while waiting for a bus. A man, armed and dangerous, had forced her into the woods, taken her phone and belongings, and left her restrained, telling her he'd return the next day. She had been left there for almost 20 hours with no food or water, helpless and unsure if anyone would ever find her. As the team comforted her and attempted to help her walk, they noticed something unsettling carved into a nearby tree. Initials inside a heart, along with the first letter of the woman's name. It raised more questions than answers.
Eu não tô acreditando. Só um pouquinho, eu vou te ajeitar, tá? Não precisa ter medo não, que eu não vou te soltar, tá bom? Só vou te ajeitar um pouquinho. Assim, pronto, fica tranquilo, pronto, assim. Deixei na frente que vou abrir o carro lá. Meu Deus do céu, vem junto comigo aqui, Jota. Me ajuda aqui, cara. Ilumina lá pra ele, cara. Aqui, bota ela no carro aqui, Jefinho, aqui, ó.
She was too weak to move on her own, so one of the team members carried her on his back through the dense terrain, making their way back toward their truck. Once there, they gave her water, comforted her, and began the process of getting her home safely. They documented everything and reported the incident to local authorities, including the coordinates and tree markings. There's no mistaking the seriousness of what the team encountered. While they came looking for unexplained phenomena, they instead uncovered a very real horror. The carved initials suggest this was premeditated. Whoever abducted her may have been watching her for some time, and might even have planned to return the following day. Most who explore the unknown fear the supernatural. But sometimes the real danger isn't a ghost in the dark. It's a person hiding in plain sight. What would have happened if the team hadn't gone exploring that night? And just how often do people vanish in places where no one's watching? Let us know what you think in the comments. Hold on a sec. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. English Woodsman is a popular channel documenting solo adventures in the UK's countryside, featuring bushcraft, camping, and peaceful time spent outdoors.
Yeah, it feels strange saying I'm gonna have a little bit of time off YouTube. So I've been YouTubing like for 7 years now. This channel, proper digging at it for about 3 years and stuff, but I've had other channels in the past, and I am on about setting up another channel as well. So now this is what's good about being outdoors. Free food, if I can reach them. Yeah, I don't want that one, do I? I think it's going to focus.
The creator, Daniel, has been sharing his experiences with viewers for years, offering a calming blend of nature, gear reviews, and quiet reflection. On this particular evening, Daniel had chosen a woodland location not far from town, only about 20 minutes from civilization. It was meant to be a simple overnight trip, and possibly his final upload before taking a break from content creation. The area wasn't especially remote, and the faint sounds of a football match could still be heard in the distance as he prepared to unwind for the night.
And rain camping is really good. Hello? I've just heard like someone walked literally past me.
As the sun dipped behind the trees, Daniel settled beside a tree, set up his camp stove, and began boiling water for coffee. He chatted casually about his upcoming break from YouTube, enjoying the serenity of the forest. Everything felt routine, until the quiet was broken by something unexpected. From somewhere just out of sight, he heard distinct movement. It sounded like footsteps on dry leaves, deliberate, spaced out, and distinctly human in rhythm. At first, he tried to rationalize the sound. It could have been an animal, or perhaps someone else passing through. But the lack of a response to his voice made things feel off.
There's that noise again now. Hello? Hello? You got to better hear that. There's nobody here. And it sounds like something's just walking around. Doing it once is alright, but 2 times, it almost sounded identically the same sort of noise.
Roughly 15 minutes later, it happened again. Same pacing, same strange presence just beyond the tree line.
I'm going to be honest, I can't stay here now. I'm going to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments. I can't stay here. I'm too unsettled. I'm nervous. I've done camping like this a load of times. I think I'm going to go find somewhere else to get this bivvy set up. But I'm leaving this spot. Like now.
As he sat finishing his evening meal, the pattern repeated itself. Still, no one answered his calls. Trying to stay calm, Daniel prepared to sleep, laying out his bivvy bag and gear. But as full darkness arrived around 10 p.m., it happened one last time. This time it was closer. That's when he made his decision. He packed up, abandoned the site, and relocated. He admitted he felt uneasy, and despite years of experience solo camping, something about this particular situation didn't sit right. No wildlife, no wind, and no explanation for the repeating rhythmic movement around his camp. Could it have been an animal? Possibly. But Daniel is a seasoned camper who knows the difference between foxes, deer, and something bipedal. Could it have been another person? Maybe. But the silence in response, the repetition, and the timing raise red flags. There's also the unsettling thought that someone could have been watching, choosing not to reveal themselves, not to speak, and simply observing from just beyond the visible edge. Alone in the forest at night, with no clear threat but a growing sense of danger, would you have stayed? Or would you have left like Daniel did? And most importantly, what do you think was walking just out of sight that night, staying silent, and always coming back to the same spot? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Seror is a channel widely recognized for its terrifying horror camping content, exploring some of the most haunted and isolated places across Indonesia. With over 1.6 million subscribers, they've built a reputation for filming in unsettling environments where the line between the paranormal and real danger often blurs. In March of 2025, the team planned what seemed like another routine horror camping episode. Just 2 creators, a tent, and a forested location in South Kalimantan, rumored by locals to be haunted. But what was meant to be a night of eerie exploration quickly transformed into something far more dangerous and real.
Kayaknya Kalsel itu paling kecil ya di antara provinsi lain.
Buat ngam sini.
Konten.
Konten apanya orang perusahaan kan ya? Kau ada apa dah? Ada apa?
Bapak dah kata di sini.
Beli.
Iya bang.
Bapak dah. Siapa di sini?
Iya. Mana gam? Bentar gini.
Keluar. Kita kimah di sini mah Pak. Bapak dah ada.
Keluar. Asik.
Video.
Harus sandal. Harus sepatu. Sudah.
Mulai video aja.
Maksudnya video. Kayaknya pura-pura mulai video tapi lain tujuannya.
Ini mata-mata nih. Kalau maksud lain bener ada apa-apa ya? Enggak. Apa? Ada. Kadai kan tahu lah. Ini nih tanah siapa lah siapa. Tahu lah.
Bapak lah.
Konten-kontennya apa nih?
Ada kalau
Konten apa? Izinnya mana izinnya?
Ya hancur tindanya
gimana? Aku aja nggak pernah. Ya hancur. Orang perusahaan nggak?
Enggak Pak. Kami di sini bikin molah video.
Video apa?
Video YouTube.
Shortly after setting up camp, they were approached by a group of local men. At first, the interaction seemed like a misunderstanding, but it quickly escalated. The locals were suspicious, believing the YouTubers might be connected to a palm oil company allegedly surveying disputed land. With growing tension and rising voices, the men began interrogating the team, demanding identification, purpose, and legal permission to film. The creators tried to explain they were simply shooting YouTube content, with no ties to any corporation. But their words didn't land. As more locals arrived, the group grew larger and more assertive.
Iya.
Nah, tahu lah. Ini nih pipa nih nah. 50 cm di bawah sini. Nah, ini ada pipa yang apabila dirusak itu kami yang jaga ini yang disalahkan.
Oh, enggak merusak kita.
Nah, jangan sampai nih anak menyabut tasa ini.
Lain
fasilitas yang ada di sini nih. Makanya
kita konten aja Pak di sini.
Harusnya hati-hati.
Iya.
Masuk pekarangan orang tuh. Nah, apalagi sampean orang sini, sampean orang pendatang, harusnya lebih hati-hati.
Di warung kan diboleh-bolehkan aja gitu nah. Enggak apa-apa katanya kan kosong aja di sana.
Iya kosong.
Dikira kan boleh-boleh aja. Enggak tahu sengketa gitu kan. Kita enggak tahu lahan sengketa.
Sudah berapa tahun itu sengketanya nih?
Oh.
Tahu lah di sinilah. Di sini masyarakat.
The situation became even more intense when the locals searched their equipment and began making serious accusations, including claims that underground water pipes had been damaged and that the YouTubers might be held responsible.
Masuk ke pekarangan orang itu harus dicari dulu siapa yang punya, ini lahannya gimana, kenapa. Itu kan di depan itu akan ada portal.
Apa ini perokok? Menghormati kami kah?
Itu kan di depan itu kan ada.
Ini kami. Sabar.
Bisa bicara baik-baik Pak.
Berikan dulu apa?
Makanya. Nah, gara-gara kalian kesini masuk
Rokoknya buang.
tanpa ada izin,
Ambil buang.
tanpa ada izin kan begini ceritanya. KTP, saya lihat KTP. Wah, semua kumpul. Ayo cepat kumpul KTP. Tahan semua ini. Ada yang beresnya semua ini. Masuk asal-asalan aja.
Sudah ke rumah Pak RT tadi cuman ada orang.
Nah, gini aja.
Iya.
Nah, kalian kalau memang benar-benar YouTuber atau apalah itulah. Nah, kami mandangnya kalian ini orang yang mau cari gara-gara masuk ke sini karena tanpa si.
The creators were ordered to leave the area immediately and were escorted to a nearby vehicle by the group. Fear and uncertainty settled in. They had no idea who these people really were. Guards, landowners, or something else entirely. And in the dark, unfamiliar territory with no clear allies, they were powerless.
Pipa air rusak di situ ya secara nggak langsung nuduhnya ke kami, Bang. Makanya kami takut ada apa-apa gimana-gimana nanti kami juga yang disalahin karena kan kami lagi sengketa, kami digugat, kami dikriminalisasi di situ padahal itu tanah saya, Bang. Itu jangan sampai nanti pipa itu ada yang rusak atau kerusak, nanti saya lagi yang laporin, Bang, sama tuh perusahaan. Gitu.
Oh, berarti tadi tanah yang tadi Bang Davi pakai konten itu tanahnya siapa namanya, Kak?
Itu atas nama suami sih, Bang.
Kakak,
aku namanya Winda.
Oh, oke. Okay.
Eventually, they were taken to a house where the full story emerged. The woman who greeted them was the rightful landowner. Her family had held the legal documents since 2015, but their land had been exploited by a palm oil company for nearly a decade, without consent or compensation. Even more disturbing, the company had allegedly sold the land without notifying her family. Despite countless attempts to report this to local and regional police and even national authorities, her case had been delayed, dismissed, or met with corruption. This wasn't a paranormal encounter, but it was every bit as chilling. What began as a camping video turned into the accidental uncovering of a long-standing land dispute rooted in exploitation and silence. The camera, once meant to capture ghost stories, instead captured the weight of generational injustice. This also raises difficult questions about how quickly things can spiral when exploring unknown areas, especially where history, politics, and property clash. Sometimes the scariest thing in the woods isn't a ghost or a shadow. It's a line you didn't know you crossed, and the people on the other side of it. Would you have known what to do in their place? Or would you have kept filming, unaware of the history beneath your feet? Let us know what you think in the comments. Franco TV is a channel known for venturing into some of the most haunted and high-risk locations across the globe. Unlike many others, Franco often goes alone, walking into places at night that even security guards refuse to patrol. This time, he returns to one of his most infamous sites, Cementerio de los Prietos in Mexico. It's a location that has delivered some of his most disturbing experiences. But on this night, something different awaits.
Apparently, I've been getting calls from one of the security officers here that were letting me know, hey, just in case if you're interested, just letting you know, there's been sightings of someone walking through here with, apparently they think it's a woman or a man. I'm here now and I just heard like footsteps. It sounds like somebody running through here. There's absolutely nothing. I got this all set up so I could just do this intro and get started. But anyway, they've been getting some weird sightings here and I wanted to see if I could explore this. I do have a contact where I should be going back to La Quinta heading, but I'm waiting for a response from the person who owns it because they're very strict. Being said, wish me luck and let's get into the video.
Days before arriving, he was warned by a security contact of strange sightings. Someone wandering the cemetery after dark. Whether it was a man or woman, no one could confirm, only that it wasn't normal. From the moment Franco enters, the tension is palpable. This cemetery doesn't just carry paranormal legends. It's also surrounded by dangerous territory, close to areas known for criminal activity. In short, he's caught between threats both supernatural and very human. While investigating the underground crypts, he discovers signs of ritual activity.
On the inside there, see that? That's his spinal cord, but nothing else. They still have black bags thrown on the inside for witchcraft. You see it? All that's not supposed to be here. That one looks a little opened. I just heard something weird. For a split second I heard something dragging or something like just now as I was inside of here. I'm just nervous because I don't know what I'm going to run into today. Every time I come to this graveyard, something happens, whether if it's paranormal or if it's a person going through here or a bandit, God only knows. So I'm just nervous because, one, for my safety, and I'm always being warned having to sign waivers. Be careful.
Charred remains, black bags used in witchcraft, and even visible skeletal remains left exposed. He continues deeper, switching to night vision as unsettling sounds begin to echo, dragging noises, then silence. Roughly an hour in, things escalate. From the distance, he he hears what sounds like weeping. At first it's faint, but it soon evolves into full-blown screaming.
Because you guys will be able to see much better long range, because I'm not about to walk up there and see for myself. I don't know, maybe. Hear it? I'm gonna switch over to night vision. Just switched over. It literally sounds like they're screaming. Oh, it's over here. Look, I just switched over to my other camera. See if I can focus in a little bit better. She's pretty far back there. Alright, I'm gonna say something. ¿Está bien? What the f? Holy shit. I just took off. ¿Está bien? What the f? I'm getting bugs all over me. Hola? Yo quiero hablar contigo. I hate this area. This is the area where I always see the laughing. I wonder if it was laughing that I was hearing or was it crying? Because what I heard this time was definitely crying. I feel like something's going to be watching me from the ceiling. Holy shit. I have never seen something like that in my life. It just took right off. Like an animal.
Against all instinct, Franco presses on toward the noise, night vision camera rolling. Then, in the darkness, something moves. An unidentified figure takes off into the shadows, climbing the wall of a tomb in an inhuman motion, leaving a trail of wet residue behind. Offerings are left nearby, including food, as if someone or something had been expecting attention. Franco documents it all, but is visibly shaken. Still, the night isn't over. As he continues his investigation, his devices begin reacting, not just EMF spikes, but direct responses to his questions.
Gregoria! Georgina! ¿Está bien? ¿Yo puedo verte? I just got a response. It sounds like it's saying sí. ¿Estás solita? Oh my God. Gregoria. Háblame. I'm so zoomed in. I was literally getting responses that sounded like C.
One word in particular keeps repeating in different forms. Yes. Each time, more confident than the last. Almost as if something intelligent is responding, pulling him deeper into the experience. Eventually, he's drawn to the tomb of Gregoria Camacho, a local figure known in life as both a healer and a feared witch. His equipment continues to register activity. He thanks whatever presence may be listening, then decides it's time to leave. Some might say Franco's experiences are atmospheric, influenced by fear and environment. But the combination of visual evidence, direct audio responses, and physical signs, like wet tracks and ritual objects, is difficult to ignore. Was it a wandering spirit? A local legend made real? Or something that thrives on attention in places like this? The repeated responses, especially near the alleged witch's tomb, raise further questions. Was something trying to communicate with him or lure him closer? Not every haunting is just a ghost story. Sometimes something watches, waits, and even answers. So what do you think Franco encountered that night in the cemetery? A restless spirit? or something far more intelligent and ancient? Let us know in the comments below. Sydney is someone who's fully embraced the van life, trading routine for adventure, and living full-time in a camper van since April 2024. Her days are spent exploring remote corners of the US, camping solo in a different location every night, and documenting her experiences for others to follow. This time, she returned to a place that held special meaning. A secluded campsite deep in Tennessee, the very location where she had spent her first solo night on the road. After stocking up on supplies and navigating rugged backroads, she arrived at the familiar spot, ready for a quiet night and a nostalgic reset.
This looks a lot different than the last time I came down here. Okay, moment of truth. Wait, was that it? Oh, this is it. Okay, sweet. There's nobody here. I'm gonna get out and take a gander and make sure everything's like safe, and I might drive down there, but I might take the top spot too. I don't know yet. That's where my friend Grace camped when I was camping down here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna come down to this spot. I'm so glad it's open.
The plan was simple. Set up camp, enjoy a peaceful dinner, and soak in the solitude. She unpacked her gear, set a folding chair by the creek, and prepared her evening meal, rice and chicken cooked over a portable stove. But as the evening wore on, the peaceful setting began to shift.
It's kind of odd sitting in silence here in the middle of the woods. Like, I don't usually like sitting in silence, especially outside, because then I actually can hear and I'm very conscious of like what's around me. But I haven't heard anything except acorns falling and leaves falling and fish coming up and eating bugs. It's quite nice, actually. No Bigfoot so far.
At first, it was just quiet. Almost too quiet. The kind of silence that presses in from all sides. When you're alone in the forest, even the sound of leaves dropping can start to feel louder than it should. Sydney tried to relax, but as she cooked, she heard something. Movement.
Is that? What was that? Anyways, dinner is served. I really hope that wasn't like a mountain lion or something, but I'm not gonna let it scare me to stay in my car. I packed all my stuff up so that if I do need to like just close this, I only have this to move. But you know what I'm thinking? What if it was Bigfoot and that was like a deer that he was eating and it was like making noises because the deer is scared? That was so weird. I heard it move too. It like moved from like there to over there.
Subtle, but distinct. It wasn't falling acorns or a fish splashing in the creek. It was something moving nearby, just beyond the tree line. She didn't panic. She didn't run. She simply acknowledged it, packed up her cooking gear just in case, and sat down to eat her burnt dinner while watching videos on her laptop, trying to pretend nothing had happened. But she stayed alert. The sound had moved from one area to another. Something was circling or shifting position. And Sydney was miles away from anyone, down a narrow dirt road with no signal and no backup. The night passed without further incident, but the sound and the feeling it left behind lingered. Was it a wild animal? Possibly. Bears and mountain lions are no strangers to remote areas like this.
What if it was Bigfoot and that was like a deer that he was eating and it was like making noises because the deer is scared?
But the shifting movement, the silence before it happened, and the eerie stillness afterward left room for doubt. Some viewers speculate it could have been a deer, or something stalking a deer. Others wonder about the more unusual possibilities. Could it have been something much larger? Something that prefers to stay just out of sight? The next morning, Sydney was safe. But the question remains, what was lurking near her campsite that night? A curious animal? Or something more elusive? If you've ever camped alone and heard unexplained noises in the woods, you know the feeling. Let us know what you think, and what you would have done if you were in her place. This video follows Nikki, the creator behind the channel Nikki TV, widely recognized for her solo camping and outdoor exploration videos. On February 9th, 2025, she embarked on a solo backcountry camping trip, one that started like many others, but ended with a deeply unsettling experience.
Let's go camping. But first, we gotta stop, get food, get gas. That's it. And then we're got a very, very long, slow off-roading experience ahead. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited, a little nervous. I have about 8 miles off-road into the backcountry that I'm gonna be taking. And yeah, I drove off-road in the backcountry before, but these roads get a little sketchy. If you don't know, I'm from Western North Carolina, and we were hit with a Hurricane Helene back in September of last year, and the damages they're extreme. But yeah, so some of the roads are a little rutted and messed up from the rain and the mudslides and the trees that fell over. But yeah, I'm a little nervous. I got it.
After stopping to refuel and grab supplies, Nikki headed into the wilderness, preparing for what she described as a long and challenging off-road journey. Her destination was deep within the remote stretches of Western North Carolina, a region still bearing the scars of a hurricane from the previous year. The dirt roads were damaged, marked by erosion, fallen trees, and landslides, making the drive in itself a nerve-wracking adventure. Once she finally arrived, Nikki found a small clearing nestled within dense forest, the perfect spot to set up camp. She cooked a warm meal, intending to settle in before nightfall. But before building her fire, she went for a short walk down a nearby trail, curious to explore the area before dark. During this hike, something unexpected happened.
I think I'm gonna walk up the road, or this road, just to see what's around that little corner right there. I don't know how far I'll go, but yeah, it's about time to build a fire too, so let's do it. Got the trusty dusty bear spray. Thought I heard some knocking coming from that direction. Kinda sound like somebody knocking on a tree, but could have been a woodpecker or anything like that, I guess. But I don't hear it now, so we'll just forget that. Well, it's gonna start getting dark soon, so I'm gonna get my lights out and get them ready for me to turn them on. That way I don't have to be searching in the dark.
In the eerie quiet of the woods, she heard a series of knocking sounds, rhythmic and distant. Although she tried to rationalize it, the noise left her uneasy. She quickly returned to her camp and set up lights in anticipation of nightfall. To feel more secure, she contacted her husband and asked him to join her at the site. As they later explored a nearby path together, they came across a massive, unusual footprint. The discovery, combined with a growing sense of being watched, heightened their unease. Reflections began to appear in their camera lens, unexplained flashes that hinted at movement in the trees.
That's big, though. It's huge. It's a big old track compared to my foot. Compared to your foot, it's still big.
As long as it's right here. Still cut all this out, like you said.
Yeah. Shine your headlight down in there so we can get a better view of it. Be careful. Look up at those trees, Hayden. That's just piles and piles of trees. Yeah, see, they cut that and I cut that to clear the road. But they got the gate closed.
As the night deepened, the atmosphere became more oppressive. Despite being together, both felt surrounded by a silence that was more than natural. They eventually returned to the tent and tried to rest, but by dawn, their decision was clear. It was time to leave. They packed their belongings quickly and drove away, leaving the haunting silence of the forest behind them. The knocking sounds, the footprint, and the strange light reflections point toward either an unusual wildlife presence or something less easily explained. Could it have been another person watching them from the woods? Or was it something far stranger, hidden deep in the forest? What do you think Nikki and her husband encountered that night? Could there be something more than just trees watching from the darkness? Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more eerie camping encounters. That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.